Hello out there, Classic Vinyl Collectibles, coming back at you with another video here. Now this is part 12 of my New Wave Synth Pop collection, and I'm going to be showing you a whole other stack. This one's bigger than the last one, so we got a lot to go through. And I've mentioned this before in my other videos. If there's any tracks in here that you've never heard before, go ahead and write them down. Either get them into your collection as MP3s or vinyl records, or go ahead and pick up the vinyl. I always like supporting the vinyl, especially now that it's come back. And you can find a lot of this stuff on discogs.com is where I get a lot of my records. But before I get going here, I'd like to suggest to you subscribe to the channel, because if you like these videos of my vinyl record collection, I have a whole lot more to show you. I've already shown 8 videos of my entire Duran Duran vinyl record collection, and I'm going to be showing you pretty much 13 videos of New Wave Synth Pop. So after that is going to be house, trance, R&B, soul, breakbeat, Italo disco, disco in itself. There's a ton of stuff to go through. So also, if you do subscribe and you do look at these videos, hit the like button. That supports the channel. Hit the notifications and I'll get videos out to you. Also, leave me your comments. I'd like to hear from you. Tell me what you think of all of this stuff. Such as, let's start with our first record here. Westworld. They had a single off of here, and it was Sonic Boom Boy, but the standout tune on this is Painkiller. And if you like heavy bass, and it's a breakbeat track, and what I mean by that is it's not just floor to floor, the beats are broken up, and it's when you feel so high but you feel so low. I'll be your painkiller. And if you ever do an 80s party, or if you're playing for clubs, get this one right here, Painkiller. All right. Was never much of a George Michael fan, but I love his voice. He had a great voice, and this is the song that was my favorite. Wham! Everything she wants and everything she needs. Somebody tell me, won't you tell me now why I work so hard for you? I remember probably being about 14 or 15 when this came out, and it's a great sounding track. So I had to have this on vinyl as well, especially with the picture cover. Wang, Chung. Remember these guys? Dance All Days. A little bit more slower, and also on the synth drums. The chorus has those beautiful strings that come out. And if you know the song Dance Hall Days, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, there is my copy on David Geffen Records. I'm on a Mexican radio, Walla Voodoo. Had to get this one here. Here is a 12-inch single, and there's the backside. One thing I love about all these records is having them in plastic sleeves. It just reminds me of record shopping and pulling them out of the bins. What a great time it was, bringing them up to the record player and the headphones. And there is Walla Voodoo. I don't know how really much to describe this one. This is Tiger Moon, Something Tells Me Right. Something tells me this could be the night. It's got an Indian sound in it, some kind of Indian sitar or stringed instrument, but it's just a really nice track, and it was even featured in a club scene in a movie with Harrison Ford. So write this one down if you've never heard it before, or if you would like to have it. My cousin and I, when we were in high school, were really big into these guys. Tears for Fears. Something happens when I'm head over heels. I'll never find out till I'm head over heels. What a really nice track. This is from their Songs from the Big Chair album. Explosive album for them, even after The Hurting. So there is that one. And then there was this one that was played to death. Shout, Let It All Out. We know the words to it. A little bit of ring wear on here. I don't always get records from sellers like they describe, but what can you do? Sometimes it happens. And this is what happens, friends, when you don't put your records in plastic sleeves. They end up like this. So keep your records in plastic sleeves. Otherwise, you'll end up with this. Otherwise, great track by them. Now I'm going to go back to their first album here, because this is my favorite by them, and it is called Pale Shelter, You Don't Give Me Love. If you like to just think of an acoustic guitar and beautiful drums, beautiful singing, kind of like in the style of Flock of Seagulls. This is the track to have. Out of any Tears for Fears, this is it. And this is a long version. Of course, we're talking about 12-inch singles. This is the one to get, and I picked this one out off of Discogs. Mint condition. I'm so glad to have it. I'm surprised it's not on my wall. And here's their album here, Songs from the Big Chair. This was their big one that came out. I believe it was 85. Yeah, 85. Bunch of songs on here. Head Over Heels, Mother's Talk, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and Shout. These guys are just really living large at that time. And I guess I have 2 copies of this. Didn't even know it. I got another copy here. One says import, the other one doesn't. Sometimes it happens. We end up having so much in our record collection we forget what we even have. And here's just a promo version of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I really like picture covers if I can get them. I don't like generic covers. It's just nothing to it. Now here's their first album, The Hurting. Yeah, I ended up with 2 of these. So I have 2 mint condition The Hurting album by Tears for Fears. It has Mad World, Pale Shelter, of course Change. Now that's the song. It starts off with, I think, a xylophone and great bass guitar track in it as well. And then we have Start of the Breakdown. Really nice tune. And here's the single 2 for Change. If you don't know the song here, Change by Tears for Fears, you got to look it up. Have this in your collection. I'm not kidding. You have to have this. Really nice song. Going further on radio stations, I used to listen to KQAK. The Quake was the big song in the Bay Area, the big radio station in the Bay Area. And they played this track right here, Total Coelo. And you're probably thinking, I eat cannibals. What does that even mean? Look at these girls right here. That's how they looked in the video. I eat cannibals. You making me an animal in me. I eat cannibals. They don't make music like this anymore. It is really out there. They took quite a chance on this track, but it's so good. It's long, a long song, and it's great loud. I gotta hand it to them. Can you get any more 80s than that? Look at the hair. That's how they did it. I remember it all. Here we go with TDI, Techno Drum International, a sort of a branch project of ZYX Records. ZYX, I think, was probably the biggest label of the 80s. They took a chance on a lot of things, mostly Euro disco, Italo disco especially. This one is your German techno and electro. So we got a guy on here that's got a small video camera. So what? Don't let that throw you off. The track on here is Lack of Sense. And the voice is kind of like Front 242 or Ministry. This is a dark track. I bought this $10 when it came out. Lost it, of course, to all my other thousands of records I lost. Had to get it again and got it off of Discogs for $50 because I absolutely had to have it. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits, putting on the Ritz. They take a song from, what, the 30s, maybe the 40s, and turn it into this. Dressed up like a $1 million trooper, trying hard to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper. Now this is the long mix here. It's got the tap dancing in it, and he says, "Gotta dance," and it echoes his voice. I remember hearing that on the radio. I thought, what is this? It's just a great time hearing all this new stuff. Here's a band here. I believe that they are from Germany. I'm not quite sure. But Trans X, Living on Video. I got 2 copies of this. The standout track on this was Living on Video. I had this on Power Records, but this is their LP. They have a song on here called Message on the Radio, another single, but the big track on here, the big cracker of a song, is a cracking track, Living on Video. This is pretty much in the same chords as Blue Monday. It was also released in French. She was even speaking in French on a different version. but Give Me Light, Give Me Action. If you've ever heard the song before, if you don't know it, you've got to have it. T-Pau, really nice song here, a little bit more like soul to soul. Give a little bit of heart and soul. This was kind of a club track here, even got radio play. Really nice song by T-Pau. Kind of more into the R&B, but because it was 80s, I just stuck it into my 80s collection here. It's not new wave, not synth pop. I think it's a little bit more R&B. So who was the singer of Duran Duran before Simon Le Bon? That's my trivia to all of you Duran Duran fans. This guy right here. Stephen Tintin Duffy. I'm not sure what happened, but he ended up doing his work on his own, and then Simon Le Bon was found by, I think it was just a newsletter or and somebody put up just an invitation for him to read, and then they ended up bringing him into the band. So here we have Stephen Tintin Duffy, Just 1 Minute to Hold It. And I love it when bands or singers still have their accent in the singing. A lot of times you don't catch it in the singing. This guy really does. And so this is a really nice track here, and it's called Hold It. The other song that he had was, well, Icing on the Cake. That was really nice. She Makes Me Quiver, a nice one too. This one's one of my favorites. Kiss Me with Your Mouth. Your love is better than wine, but wine is all I have. Will your love ever be mine? And I'm just noticing here, remixed by Francois Kevorkian. He went on to do some really hypnotic house music in the early 90s. But this is the standout track of Stephen Tintin Duffy. Great on Sire Records. Here's another one on Caroline. Pretty much the same song. These two guys, I think they put out another record other than this, but Strange But True. I Think I've Got a Thing for You. Happy club track, really nice. I had to have it. Love the look that these guys have on the cover. Very 80s sounding. I mentioned this before in another video, but here we are, Sidekicks, the Thompson Twins album. The standout song here was Lies. Powerful track, cracking snare on it. And of course, If You Were Here, it was the ending song of the Molly Ringwald 16 Candles. You ever wondered what that song is? Then that's it. So I'm going to put that stack down and keep going. This is more early 90s. It's in my 80s just because it's Thompson Twins, but this is the song Groove On. I forget which mix on here was the best, but this is called Groove On by Thompson Twins. If you like house music, if you like that really smooth house music, this one is really nice. It blends into some acid house. Now here's the song I was talking about. You told me you love me, so I don't understand. Promises are cracked, or promises are snapped in two. What a waste of plans. The bigger, the better. If you know the song, then you know what I'm talking about. Again, it was big in, I think, 1983, 82, somewhere around then. But a loud song. Who could hold still with that? And of course, Hold Me Now. This song is played everywhere. That's one of their biggest songs here. Right up there with Doctor Doctor. Look at these two singles. Doctor Doctor, Can't You See I'm Burning, Burning. This right here, that is my teen years for me personally when I was in high school. Right up there with Culture Club, Time Won't Give Me Time, Time a Clock of the Heart. Now this one here, when you combine John Lydon, Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols, and also Public Image Limited, PLI, when you got Bill Laswell, John Lydon, and Africa Bambaataa, you've got World Destruction. Big time club track too, floor filler, it's loud, it's fast, good song. If you know it, you know what I'm talking about. So 16 Candles, back to that movie again. After the club scene, or at least the school dance scene, after Sam is embarrassed and the senior is talking to the idiot that just embarrassed her, Michael Anthony Hall, when things kind of settle down, that soft music kind of comes in. That's this right here. Tim Finn, and the song is Growing pains, always in a hurry. It's a really nice tune. So I had to have this. It came out on the album. I don't think it was released as a single, but I had to have it. Gwen Stefani, she did a cover of the song. I absolutely cannot stand it. My favorite version of it is this right here. Talk Talk, It's My Life. Nobody else should sing this song other than Mark Hollister. I believe that was his name. He has since then now passed, and so he's no longer with us, but no one has a voice like his on Talk Talk. And the song is It's My Life. The video has him with a bunch of other zoo animals around him, and either some bizarre looking animation of movements, but just the sound in this, their music was kind of unlike anybody else's. Just beautiful. Now this and this go together, because I say that because they have two songs that are the same on here, and that is All You Do to Me Is Talk Talk. Pounding, throbbing, thrusting, call it what you want. If you were to play this at the height of a club, let's say probably 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe even 3, this is the song to be playing. All You Do to Me Is Talk Talk. And then we have, here's the album of It's My Life. And another track on here was It's You. Love that song. And I don't know some of the other tracks on here. When it comes to LPs, I don't remember. Oh, that's his name, Mark Hollis, forgive me. Really nice album. And of course, got another copy of that. That's what happens with Discogs, is you put everything into your cart and you check out with the seller, and instead of putting it into your collection, removing it from your want list, and you think you still need it. Tom Tom Club, I believe they were two individuals from the Talking Heads. They made Tom Tom Club as a band of theirs. They did Genius of Love, and then they did this one here. He's the Man with the Four-Way Hips. Really nice moving tune. Another synth pop track. I don't know how else to describe it, but really good tune. All right, let's get serious here. I think this came out in about 1988. This song gets progressively louder in volume, louder. It's got electronic drums, this choppy sequencer synthesizer sound. It's very high voltage. It's got the electronic strings throughout it, and the song is glowing in the dark again. If you like that more darker, choppy synthesizer kind of sound, this is the one to get. An original copy of this goes for about $100 on Discogs. It has been repressed. I'm not going to take it out. It's got the yellow label to it. And the other outstanding track on here is Mannequin. There she stands. She's the mannequin, the one who stands alone in the dead of night. Beautiful song. So I would get this one here. I believe it is a domestic. These guys, I think, are from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Goth rock, dark wave, call it what you want to. There are so many good songs from this band, Sisters of Mercy. One of them is Black Planet. Another one called, I think, is Lucretia. And then this one right here, This Corrosion. It's Hey Now, Hey Now, Now. You sing this corrosion to me. The video even looks like a post-apocalyptic war remains with steel and concrete and rain. And the dude's got aviators on with wet hair and a leather jacket. I mean, how much better can you get? But if you were to be having a goth rock or goth club, this is a track to play. My last two records, I saved two of the best for last. A band out of France are called Hardcorps. The synths that are used in this, the synthesizer sounds that are used in this, according to the video that they have of this song, there's plugins just going everywhere before we had software like we're using now. It's really, how should I call it, kind of eerie on the electronic sounds. It's just very electronic. And the strike of the snare on this track, I think they're round synth pads, and they're hitting them. It's striking it like a laser sound. And she sings in this in the French language, and she says, "Au revoir, je suis passé, parti." I'm not quite sure what she's saying, but I think it is, "I have passed," or "I am gone." Get this into your collection. I'm serious. Get this in your collection. I don't even care if you look it up on YouTube and just download it. You have to know this song. I first heard this on KZSU out of Stanford. It was to the left of the dial. That's what you get when you have college radio stations that have the time to play stuff like this. Now, if you like, let's say OMD, Blamage, Book of Love, anything on Sire Records, anything of that beautiful, another one, Vicious Pink, if you like their stuff, then you're going to have also by Hard Corpse, Lucky Charm. It also has Porte Bonheur. I think that might be the same track that's in French. But even in the chorus, it gets so beautiful, and she has quite a falsetto. I don't think she's even with us anymore. I believe that she has also passed. It happens over time. We're talking 30-something years ago. But look this up. Both of these tracks, Je suis passé and Lucky Charm. That there is part 12 of my, new wave synth pop collection of all of that right there. And I'm going to have one more video coming up, and that's going to be part 13. And that will be the final of all of my A through Z 80s collection, in which after that I'll be moving on to other videos such as Italo Disco. And I have a lot to show in that. And as I've mentioned before in my last video, that stuff is like the Dieter Bohlen Productions, Modern Talking, and Bad Boys Blue, The Silent Circle, Joy Peters, Michael Bedford. It is very poetic, romantic, synthesizers, synth pop, synthesizer, drums music. Mostly imports, very expensive now, huge in Asia, coming out of Italy and Germany. So I'll be showing those videos a little bit later. So subscribe to the channel, hit the likes button. Let me know what you thought. I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Let's go ahead and talk. I'd like to hear from you. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.